Okay, hello everyone and welcome in. Welcome to Melanin Gamers podcast. These are our bite-sized podcasts. Welcome in, welcome back. We have the full squad with us today. We have In the Dock.
Guys.
We have OG Otaku.
Yay!
And we have Obsidian Fury.
What's going on, squad?
And also Zen.
What's going on?
And it's your girl, your hostess with the mostest, Creatively Anzi. And it's June, officially the start of spring. I think it was the start of spring before. But tell that to the UK weather. I don't think they have gotten the memo. Anyway, June means games. Games means we are very happy. Also, June means that we finished Comic-Con, which we were talking about a lot, which went very well. Huge shout out to everyone who came to our booth. We had Mario Kart and Smash Bros tournament on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thanks
Shout
to
out to our tournament winners.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to MCM for inviting us. We can't wait to be back in October as well. We are going to do some June updates. This is the first week of June. And so we are going to start with Obsidian Fury for our first week of June updates.
Okay. June is going to be a pretty quiet month. I know that there was PlayStation State of Play. I know that Ubisoft Forward. Is it Forward? What's that one called? I know that for Q2 we're going to see a lot of like updates about certain games that are meant to be coming in Q3 and Q4. So going to keep your eye out for that one. Also, Marvel Rivals, that's the big game that's making splashes. People are basically saying it's an Overwatch clone. So that got me thinking, how much of a clone does a game have to be before we call it a clone, rather than, because there's inspiration and then there's like copy. So there's a difference. And I think, okay, me personally, I think that a lot of games you can make basically a clone of it, but then if you like added like you have to make it just different enough that it's unique, but as long as you don't make it something that people don't fully like not recognize, if that makes sense. So I'm absolutely fine with games like Power World where they're just different enough, because I think that's how you like get innovation. Because a lot of people don't like to admit.
Towing a very fine line.
No. Because a lot, even then, I'm like, a lot of people don't understand that there's actually this issue has been going on a lot longer. It's just more. This is the time where we're now catching up to it. Where a lot of people back in the day, like I talked to a lot of old game developers, and they thought Call of Duty, all of those games were like Doom clones. So they're like, oh, this is just Doom repackaged and recolored. And then when you play the games nowadays, if someone told you, oh, play Wolfenstein and then play Call of Duty, you're going to get two different kinds of like, you might get the same fans, but it's two different types of game experiences to most people nowadays. So maybe in the future, people are like, oh, Pokemon and Power World, those are two different types of games. Like, what are we talking about? One has guns, for crying out loud. So this is like off the top of my head. So like the ideas are not refined. Like the arguments and the positions are not refined. But I do think that a little bit of like copying isn't too much of a bad, as long as it isn't like a 1-for-1 clone, or like they see the idea and then they basically get like an army of developers to like create your idea as fast as possible and then flood the market with it. I think that's a really big issue. But other than that, I don't see the problem with like Souls-like or game adjacent games, essentially.
I don't know. It depends who they're copying from and taking from. If it's because I feel like people don't feel as sorry because Nintendo is a juggernaut. But then when you're stealing from smaller creators, that sometimes can become a problem.
When you say stealing, what do you mean by stealing? Because
or copying or taking very heavy inspiration. Power Walls have taken very, very heavy inspirations from Pokemon. Let's be real.
Yeah, I agree. But like what I'm saying is that it's okay to take inspiration from, but stealing, because stealing is inherently a bad thing. As soon as you say stealing, you're saying, oh, you've taken something that doesn't belong to you. Whereas what I'm saying is, if there's like an established genre within the circuit, like if that traces back to one person or a group of games, then I think it's okay to have like a game adjacent to that kind of thing, like within that space, and then put your own twist on it, as long as it's like there is like a limit to that, like, because this is like, we're talking about degrees here, we're not talking about like black and white. I get what you're saying, but I'm like, a lot of the innovation that have occurred in this industry comes from making game adjacent games, essentially.
Yeah,
that's fair, but obviously we can all tell the line. Well, maybe some of us can't, but there is a fine line between like homage and just straight up copying, you know. It's getting a bit blurrier these days, but it's still there.
Agreed. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And well, seeing, so that's where the Marvel Rivals is like, oh, it's basically an Overwatch 2 clone, and people are like complaining like, oh, but my issue is that the developer has like a bad history with like updating their games and like just having like consistency when it comes to content. So this feels like it might be a great game, and it feels like a lot of the characters are broken. That's how I like my games. I like my games broken on release, and then we tone it down rather
Oh
than
my days.
rather than boring on release and then they scale it up. I want it broken. I want people to find the game, like the bugs in the game, and break the game in its entirety, and like let there be chaos in the beginning, and then we turn it back rather than the opposite. So that is like my wild take. But I like to summarize, I have no problem with like game adjacent games. I have no problem with like quote unquote clones, as long as they like add a spin on it that's nice, and it makes the actual genre refreshing again.
I get that. Well, previously we were also talking about, which I'm going to go to Zen for on this, is that 2K have acquired FIFA.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be like competition now for EA in the long run. Because I think apart from everybody rushing like they did for FIFA when when it was FIFA, when it came out, like that was what everybody used to rush for. Oh, I want the new one just to get it for a bit, obviously do the pro league, and then that was kind of it. Same thing on 2K. But the thing with 2K was the whole thing about like the customization. That's the one thing that I feel like if they bring that, they're gonna bring that to the table. That's what they've been known for. Like they got influencers in there to kind of take their style to bring it in, and I think like they had such an array of different. Like I remember, you could even like. I know a lot of people probably who've played it, where you're just cruising around on a BMX, waiting to go onto the court. Like it had a mixture of, because I'm not gonna lie, I loved FIFA Street, and they never made another one. I used to love that. That game
Yeah.
was sick.
I
Yeah.
played
was
FIFA Street. I loved FIFA Street.
like FIFA Street was just when you're not trying to be serious. That's the thing. Like you're not every day. I want to go on pro leagues. I want to do like I want to play the season. I want to bang out the season. Like sometimes I just want a game that is it's not serious. It's fun. Got the sound, the music was always sick on FIFA Street. Like it just had you kind of like bobbing along. It was a bit like Midnight Club. It kind of had that kind of feel to it.
So I just want to know what's the game that just released then that isn't FIFA but was supposed to be FIFA? FC something, right?
EAFC.
Yeah,
EAFC.
EAFC. No, only because like I'm not a football game person in it. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
play. I haven't played it in a while. Other than like FIFA Street probably back in the day, and I see I saw everyone playing and streaming this new football game. I instantly assumed FIFA. Everyone's like FIFA. What's that? Now I understand why, because like it's not FIFA. It's just a football game that looks like
Yeah.
now. As someone who's like got the outside perspective looking in,
Mhm.
me hearing that it's gone over to 2K sounds like a great deal for the FIFA fans, no? Because I feel like, like a lot of these games, these legacy games, the Call of Duties and stuff like that, that always have the next iteration coming out. Aren't you happy that, like, this company, I think, are going to put a different spin on it? Like, NBA 2K,
Oh no, no.
like, 2K do sports games, no? Like, isn't there no one else better
Yeah,
Yeah,
handles?
NBA 2K is a basketball game, and they do very well at NBA, and
yeah.
2K does
They
very
do,
well at NBA.
and they do
Agreed.
the WrestleMania games as well, right?
Yes, exactly. So in that kind of regard, EA Sports, that's like the branch that used to own FIFA. No, FIFA and EA Sports had a massive falling out. Like we heard
Yeah.
about it ages ago. And then that's when FIFA, but there was a massive falling out, and then they decided to part ways. And then I asked a lot of okay, legacy FIFA. That's what we're gonna call it, legacy FIFA. I asked a lot of legacy FIFA fans, like, oh, if FIFA leaves, are you gonna go to where FIFA is, or are you gonna go to where EA is? And they're like, we don't care as long as we get our fix every year from EA. That's what they said. So when EA FC came out, the legacy FIFA fans who all thought FIFA thought they were gonna join them didn't. So now FIFA had to go shop around to find a brand new developer to help them get this, and they landed on 2K. Now that's very good because 2K well established in the industry and they can make good sports games. Yeah.
But
when it comes to, and I think that of the crown jewels of EA Sports, FIFA makes them the most money. Not like Madden. Madden doesn't make as much money, and the other sports games don't make as much money. I have to take a look at this take a look at the stats. But I do know that when it comes to money, EAFC, the football game, like the football sports game that EA Sports has, makes them the most. So the fact that it's now going to 2K is interesting. Now, my only my real competition, like this is like a long spiel of the real competition comes to play is what can FIFA bring to the table that will give 2K the edge. That's what I'm thinking about now.
But
Because
that's what Zen was saying. It's the
But
customization.
no, because customization doesn't. It's not. That's not FIFA bringing it to the table. That's 2K bringing it to the table.
that's what we're saying. That's what it's gonna add to it. Because at the end of the day, as you've already just established, and you went and said that, you're gonna get the diehard 2K fans, the diehard FIFA fans, though before they split off, they're still just gonna go and buy the EA, and then they're just gonna go and buy that game.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
So then what this is now going to do, and this is why I feel like it's good, is it's going to bring the interest. Because right now, football's becoming big in America because of Messi and those people.
Yeah.
Like America, they're just jumping on it because they're like, oh, Messi, Ronaldo. People like I Showed Speeds. Like he just made brought football over there. Now, some of them are just like, they're not really into the EA side of that. And a lot of them are now branching off. So this is now a good time in the market for there to be something else that they're used to 2K.
Yeah.
People, the Americans, let's say the American players or the worldwide base, like 2K already for what they've done with the basketball. Yeah. So now FIFA's smart because they're now going to say, okay, we're now bringing a football version of it. And the fans already come for 2K because of the customization as well as the gameplay. Obviously, this is going to be a different type of gameplay. But people love the customization to the point where they got content creators to come in, scan their body. There's videos of it. They are so proud of showing that. Like they show where they've taken the swag of the people to now bring them in the game. People are trying to get points to now go and buy trainers in the shop. I remember people just cruise around this like I remember when I used to watch it heavy. Some of my people that I used to watch, the first thing they're doing is like, yeah, let's go hit the shops. Let's see what the swag is saying. That's how they were. Like they were going
I
on
agree, and I understand, but that sounds like NBA. That sounds like 2K. That's what 2K is
that's
doing.
what I was going to say. And to go back to your statement on what a FIFA bringing to the table.
Because that's going to be
FIFA
what's going to be the decider.
Yeah, what FIFA bringing to the table is FIFA, bruv. FIFA bringing to the table the IP of FIFA.
The IP,
I don't
the
think so.
nostalgia and all that.
Yeah, I agree.
Is contractually the player likenesses, all the updated tops,
Yeah.
know-how of what's going to be updated. So when they're developing this game, they know that the football shirts that's going to be there 6 months from now is those football shirts, and they're not running with old shirts and being like, oh no, now we got to update this, or oh no, that's what FIFA bring to them with that kind of power behind 2K's already established like sports game directive. I think is pretty much set, because if people they go for the football game, they go for the EA game, whatever it is, because it's the best of what they got. There's nothing else. But the second 2K show up with all their players in all their player drip, and not only that, now we've got a bit more customization. Now the players got voice lines. Now there's a little story mode that you can do, and all these kind of things. I think, they're gonna realize, oh, that might be the more interesting football game, and they go for that, because there's no choice. When there's no choice and there's no competition, what's happening? Like, we're gonna play FIFA Football Manager. If there's another football game out there,
True.
Do you know what you just said? Yeah, it's so right as well. It's like EA has now put themselves into who they used to compete with and overshadowed Pro Evolution. They've made themselves a Pro Evo.
Yeah, eFootball.
Because the member, because the member, as you just said, like that's gonna bring the brands that 2K already have backing them with the sponsorship that FIFA already have, that license FIFA, they're gonna muscle them out completely.
We'll see. I mean, this is still EA we're talking about. They are seasoned veterans in making football games.
And
so
they know, and they got that formula. They got the Kane formula of like
but so does 2K. 2K also has that formula down.
2K has experience in making NBA games. You're going into football games, totally different physics wise.
A whole
lot
it's
of
not
things.
too far.
The
It's not
gameplay.
like, I don't know.
at the end of the day, you're taking the ball to the other side of the pitch.
I don't think it's
I
I
mean,
think
FIFA.
that a sports fan will very much disagree with that, but they have the FIFA backing though, which is what something that like Pro Evo never had. They didn't have the
But
FIFA backing.
but
2K does.
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know if who's gonna lose here. What I'm saying is that EA are definitely not going down without a fight. And also they
Yeah.
have the money. They have the money to fight much better than Pro Evo could have ever fought. So what I think this is gonna be good for the fans. Now you're
Yeah, it
gonna
is.
have
It is healthy
different like,
competition.
oh, I don't have to just buy this game. I can maybe buy both. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe that one will muscle the other out, or maybe
I
the
think,
two
yeah.
the two can coexist because
No. I don't think the two can coexist. I think that
Yeah,
because of and I say
don't
that
think
because
so.
the amount of money, like a first, the economy is kind of in the bin right now. So the amount
Yeah.
the amount of money for games is a lot less than it was before. So and the way people spend games, I've looked at the stats. The way people spend games, they have like 4 or 5 games a year, like casual players, not us. We're a little bit different, but like casual player has like 4 or 5 game money per year, and if you're telling me that someone's going to spend two of the 5 on a football game, like that's basically the same game, that's ludicrous. So they have to pick one. Basically, they have to say, which one am I going to get? Am I going to get EAFC or am I going to get NBA? I mean, I'm going to get 2K FIFA.
So the one that will decide it is what are your friends playing on? Yeah. If you've got FC and they've got 2K FIFA, it's already a wrap, bruv. Like you're not being able to play together. No one wants that. So whoever's got the most people on it is gonna win. That's it.
Yes.
And what I'm gonna say as well is that 2K will play on the the younger generation in terms of it, who are very image based. Because you got to think about it. Like, look at when Jordan paired up with Paris Saint-Germain. Like, people are buying them tracksuits left, right, and center just because it's got Jordan branding on it. Like, little things like that. Yeah, the imagery base for this younger generation is mad. So if it's a thing where they can make their guy look on a madness and then have the whole pro league version, it's gonna be, that's what they're gonna lean on. That's what I feel anyway.
well, what 2K need to do is definitely hire you then, because clearly you're coming up with all the ideas here.
Yeah, no, not only that. Yeah,
Like,
if I think if they really want to win, like let's take Zen's
Yeah.
idea and put it to 11. They should get like when those YouTubers like the Sidemen, all of them, man, they should get them in the game. Then it's a wrap. Then it's like
Yeah, no, 2K will do that 100%, but they already do
Yeah.
that. They already do that with
Wow,
YouTubers. They already do.
you're basically giving away free
yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
2K hire me and Zen. I got
2K, hire them, look, because obviously they know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I think we've exhausted this discussion. We'll see when the game comes out next year. I'm very much looking forward to which one is actually also going to come out first, in terms of which one's going to launch and how that's going to be. It's going to be a very exciting time to see, because we've never seen anything like this. Or
Yeah.
if EA maybe will go back to FIFA, begging ball in hand. You never know.
No. That's not
Nah.
that's not EA. No.
That is not
You'll be
them.
surprised.
No way.
FIFA makes them money. It's their
Nah.
cash cow. You'll do
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to protect your cash cow. So
Agreed.
there's that part.
But the way that what I've heard so far from the industry, the way they split off wasn't like friend. It wasn't on good terms. So
Yeah.
EA rather lose money than go back. I'm telling you that now. They'd rather lose money. They'd rather give up on the football segment.
No,
And then
no, they're not giving up on football. They are not. They won't do that. As for that
We'll
one, they
see.
won't do.
You also got to remember FIFA's very much as well. Like they don't like, if they're very stuck in their ways, they're very stuck in their ways too. Like they are very stuck in their ways. So you got two people that are very much like, listen, I'm going left. If you're not coming left with me, then that's it. There's no coming down the road later on. It's like we set out this contract for however many years, or it's like no.
Well, we'll see, isn't it? Because when it comes to money, everyone's of the same language. So sometimes you have to. That your enemy is. If your enemy's going to make you money, you're going to make a deal with your enemy. I don't know.
Respectfully,
We will see about that. But
ego
let's-
says more.
All right, let's move on. Obsidian Fury. I haven't come to you, Ojitaka. You kind of have also spoken. I think we were all talking about the
Yeah, we're all talking
the
about
thing.
it.
But if you guys have any updates in terms of June, what you want to see, I think you mentioned some new games coming from State of Play, Ojitaka.
Yeah, so end of May, beginning of June, because that's when they decided to drop the state of play. PlayStation have announced a couple of new games. Some are looking interesting. Some are looking, I don't know. You let me know. Just to tell you some of the heavy hitters. So biggest one I think is Silent Hill 2. For all the horror fans out there, I know they've been waiting on this one. Like, you know, Silent Hill really put its stamp on the horror game genre when it first came out to stuff that we see in games till this day. So people been waiting on number 2 for a long time, and it's looking good. You know, it's looking like the, I don't know, the renaissance of horror games is happening again with like the Resident Evil remakes and the Alone in the Darks and stuff like this. We also got a new Alien game, like Alien Isolation. It's called Alien Rogue Incursion. But I believe it's VR as well. Dynasty Warriors are back. I thought Dynasty Warriors was done, but no, they came back. New games, looking fresh. Yeah, I don't know what engine they're using, but looking crisp, and I might be playing me some Dynasty Warriors. It's called Origins. And then oh, my personal pick is like Monster Hunter Wilds. We got new gameplay footage of the new open world Monster Hunter game that they're working on, and can't wait for that one to come. That's just going to be big. PC players, congratulations! You now get to play God of War Ragnarok.
Nice.
Nice,
Legend.
welcome to the. I do think you still need to have a PlayStation account to do it.
Wow.
You know, take the small victories where you can and with a grain of salt. But those
What
were
did I say? I called it out. I told you guys from the Helldivers controversy. I told you they will make sure. They said by before the game is even out, you have a PSN account. Before it's even out, you have a PSN account. And we don't care how you do it, you have a PSN account. And they're gonna stick to their guns this time. There is gonna be no budging on this one.
Yeah, so they are releasing their games on PC these days, but yeah, that PSN account seems like you need one. They started, I believe the first game they started with is called Concord. Now, it looked very interesting for me personally. I was like, oh, it's giving me Star Wars vibes, you know, a nice little CG story going on. And then towards the end-ish, they kind of revealed it was a 5v5 live service shooter game. And I don't know, some people may have taken it differently, but I went, because I was just like, it's not gonna be what I thought it was gonna be, but you know, it might be good. But we know these live service games, these you know, team-aside shooters, they come, they go. We just gotta wait for it to drop and see what it's saying. I hope it does something different that the others have been doing.
Do you know what it felt like? Have you watched Arcane?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine watching Arcane, then you go and play League of Legends.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Imagine watching something like Arcane and you're like, wow, the lore, the cinematics, this is amazing. Then you go and play League of Legends. Imagine
Wait, hold on. In the dark, the only person who actually plays League here. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, I actually do agree. Well, the numbers of League of Legends players actually increased because of Arcane.
Like, respect to League, respect to League. It's a great game and everything, but if you're like the casual viewer and you just watched Arcane and you find out it's one of the biggest games out there, and then you go to play League,
bamboozled.
A large percentage of people will be like, "This isn't the game I thought it would be."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's how I felt like when I saw Concord. I'm like, oh my! It's like I was watching Arcane, and then the guy opened his mouth and said 5v5 character-driven first-person multiplayer. I was like, oh, it's much cooler. It's like he just told me like the gameplay of League of Legends. I'm like, oh no! Like what I was expecting, like some kind of single-player narrative role-playing game where that's what I was expecting, because like the
like
characters
Destiny,
like Star Wars Outlaws vibes.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was expecting. I was like, oh my gosh, this game is gonna be slapping, until he said 5v5, and I was like, oh.
I was like, oh, it's one of this. He might as well have told me it's on Android and iOS.
Literally. Do you know what the thing is? We should have expected this, because PlayStation have said that they're not doing any more. That like all their new releases, all their new IPs are going to be live service. So we should have expected it, but I forgot when I was watching. I forgot, and it looks so nice. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Well, compared to like
you know, not to say we don't play those games. Some of them are X Defiant dropped recently. Again in the beginning of June. That's Ubisoft's new 5v5. I think it's 6v6 maybe. Shooter, and it's not doing too bad, to be honest. It's still like, it's been like a good few weeks on and it's still there. It's still got concurrent players. It's you doing a lot of the same stuff you have seen in other shooters, but it's also doing it with that Ubisoft pizzazz. They're really, the whole base of the game is that the different factions you play in are different factions of the different games, like from Watch Dogs, Far Cry, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, like The Division. They've got all these different games and they've put them in, and those are the different characters and classes that you pick between for your 5v5. A bit more Call of Duty than I would say like Destiny or Fortnite. But yeah, it's doing well. And that's a free 5v5 game that's come out. Sometimes they fly, sometimes they don't. Just I would say I've all been in the gaming biz long enough to know that a majority of them don't. So when you do see something like that has potential and then you hear it's one of these, you're already like, ooh, there's like a 50-50 shot at best.
Fact. No, that's facts.
Good.
For me, I always like you said, there is like the ones that fly, but for me, unless it's like something brand new, which is like kind of goes back to my earlier statement, like something like Titanfall 2 was like brand new, even though it was doing some of the same things that it was doing previously. It felt new enough. It gave the genre life enough for me to be like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to support this game because the alternative is having copy paste Call of Duty or Battlefield for the end of time. So I'll support it. So I don't know if X Defiant has reached that category where it's like, I want to play this game, not because it might be even a great game or a good game, but because we need this kind of game to make sure that the juggernaut in the genre are not just going to keep on copying, pasting the same thing over and over again. So I don't know where X Defiant falls in that kind of category.
Check it out. It's a free game. It's free to play, so you might as well check it out. I mean, I've downloaded it to play. So
I downloaded it, tried it out. I enjoyed it. I've
Yeah,
squadded up a few
I
friends.
actually enjoyed it too.
Yeah, you kind of just got to give all these live service games one season. I say, like, if they make it to that second season, they will change things up in the second season. If you get to the second season and they haven't made those changes we as a community know that they needed, then I think that's a tap out. I will say Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League kind of had that, where it was kind of teetering on if it was gonna fly or fail. They had that Joker update because everyone was thinking that was the next big update that was gonna save it. Found out it didn't. It just really added characters and reskins, and the community kind of died.
Okay, cool. I'm also looking forward to. I think it is nice to give some games like at least.
Yeah, like
sometimes
I'll give it a try. You always got to give them a try. Like,
with Ubisoft, you have to. It's Ubisoft. Until I see gameplay, that's when I'm like, okay, this is a good game. Because Ubisoft, they make banger cinematics. But until I see gameplay, that's when I'll be like, okay, I'm sold.
With me, if it's Assassin's Creed, I'm already in there. I don't care. You can give me the logo, and I'm already pre-ordered that thing. Yeah.
The only game that can give me a logo and pre-order is GTA. That's the only game that.
Yeah,
can be like, yeah.
But all right. Last but not least, in the dark. If you have any updates, let me know.
I think that's about it. I haven't really been online lately, so.
Oh yes, of course, internet issue. And
that's a whole podcast.
That's a whole other podcast, actually.
Yeah.
I think we need to have that discussion soon because it's getting to be a bit of a joke. But yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, as it is June, there are some games coming out this month that are like ones to watch. Like most of all, Elden Ring DLC is like 2 weeks.
Also, multiverse has come back. They've re-released it, so
they've re-released it. Before, when you guys played multiverses and you thought it was out, it wasn't. That was just the open beta. Now it's out.
That was out.
And if you download it, you actually get this season's battle pass for free if you played any of the open beta before, and you'll get like Jason as a free character straight off the bat. Basically,
he's broken. LeBron is broken. Velma, they turned her down. My girl, my babes, they turned her down.
We'll be checking it out for MG Community Days. Alan and I were playing it because of the release of the game, which was really fun.
Guess who won? Guess who won, my people?
Destiny 2's got a large update coming out this month as well in June. The final shape is meant to like be the big conclusion to the whole Destiny story that's been happening for all these years. So I know like the Destiny fan base right now are very excited, and I know they're waiting for that one to drop. So shout out to our Destiny 2 players. Good luck.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love that idea. That's really nice. I love stuff like that when it comes to a nice conclusion. Because that's one thing Alan won't give One Piece, because he said he hasn't finished yet, and the ending might ruin One Piece and make it the worst anime in the world, which I think will have Agent quivering.
No. Sometimes the best thing a story can do is end. That's why there are certain pieces of like one of my there's the best anime, then there's my favorite anime. One of the best animes out there, Full Metal Brotherhood.
Spud me.
Like it's not my personal favorite, but it's definitely up there with the best because good solid intro, good middle, good end. Everything tied up nicely. Whereas
100%.
there's certain other anime where it's like I get angry. Like
No, we're not getting into an anime conversation because this podcast is already 34 minutes long, and that's another podcast talking about anime.
True.
So there's that part of the story.
You brought it up. I'm just clarifying my position.
I know, but it was a small little segment, and this is my segment. Hello.
Sorry. Please continue.
So we've been doing a lot of in-person events, guys, which is really great. Our next one is the Apex one, which is we love Apex over here. We were at Norwich Games, we're at Comic-Con. So many things happening in person, but we are going to try to do more community days for our online. Yeah, so please take a look out for that and different games that we can all sort of game together. There's a lot of free 5v5, 6v6s coming out, so we'll also get that in there. So keep an eye out on our socials.
All right. Sorry, Anzi, quick update. We're also doing Dungeons and Dragons. We're also we're diving into that world. So I know a lot of people who especially some of our community members want to dive into some Dungeons and Dragons with us. So we're also going to be setting that up as well. We're actually going to be doing our first session. I don't know when this is going to come out, but we're going to be doing our first session this Saturday. So that will be on the 8th of June. And then I'm going to open it up to the floor to let other people come in and join in. It's going to be in person, but if you can't make it, it's also going to be online. We're going to also sort that aspect out. But yeah, so Dungeons and Dragons for Melanin Gamers, it's happening. It's now an official thing.
Ascended into complete nerddom of Dungeons and Dragons, which is the ultimate and the final boss of nerds.
Oh, please. How many hours of PlayStation do you play? Can you imagine?
What do you mean? I'm a casual gamer.
You are not a casual gamer. Let's be serious. How many? Okay, hold on. Okay. If you're casual, how many DLCs of Sims do you have?
I don't want to talk about that conversation.
Yeah, that's right. What?
That was a loaded question, guys.
That was a loaded question. How dare you? But yeah, so obviously huge thanks to you guys. Thanks everyone for listening. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been here with In the Dark.
Stay safe, guys.
OG Otaku.
Keep it OG, peeps.
Obsidian Fury.
In a bit, squad.
And Zen.
Take it easy. Peace out.
Has been your hostess with Moses, creatively Anzi. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.